Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show this afternoon. Today is Friday the 7th of February 2020. Thank you guys for tuning in, and let's get started. Let's open up the charts right here. And you know what I'm going to talk about? I'm going to talk about, the LIBRA coin is pushing the central banks. Chinese central banks, the People's Bank of China, PBOC, is kind of leading the way, and that's kind of pushing them too. They are talking very seriously now about going into a digital-based dollar, the Federal Reserve. Now, I've saw this coming on my channel for a long time, and when I first saw this coming, maybe, I don't know, years ago, I guess, I talked about it, and I said that probably they would push the people into these new digital-based dollars, and they would effectively invalidate the old dollars and say, well, you have a certain amount of time to go into the new digital dollar. I don't think that's the way it's going to work now. I've changed my mind on that. I've changed my opinion just because of the way it's happening. I see it as the two systems running parallel to each other. I see them bringing this digital dollar out. Doesn't matter really what they call it. It'll probably be pegged to the regular dollar, and I don't see them forcing the people into it. I can see it becoming an alternative to if Libra brings out a new coin, if the Chinese bring out a new digital dollar. It's a move in the direction of cryptography, more so than the direction of doing away or replacing the old dollar. I think it's going to be a parallel system that's going to run with the old dollar, and you'll have your choice. So basically what I think it's going to really amount to ultimately is almost like a tether. Like we have tether out there now that's pegged to the dollar, and it's going to be like an altcoin. It's going to be a Federal Reserve altcoin, basically, I think was where we're going with this. And let's just read a little bit of it here. It says the Federal Reserve is looking at whether to launch its own digital currency could be an effective counter to private initiatives such as Libra. See, they're being pushed. Lael Bernard, who sits at the U.S. Central Bank Board of Governors, said Wednesday that the Fed is conducting research and experimentation relating to the distributed ledger technologies and their potential use cases for digital currencies, including the potential for a CBDC, central bank digital currency. By transforming payments, digitalization has the potential to deliver greater value and convenience at lower cost, Brainerd said in a speech delivered at Stanford Graduate School of Business in California. The U.S. dollar's global importance means the Fed needs to remain on the frontier of both research and policy developments regarding digital currency, she added. Okay. So let's go there. Let's say that the Fed releases this new digital coin, and it doesn't really matter. They'll probably call it dollar because that's what it is. Because I'm going to tell you what, it's going to be pegged to the U.S. dollar. I think the U.S. dollar will stay in existence. All the cash out there will stay cash. This is the way I'm thinking now. I'm thinking that this is just going to offer the people an alternative. And what kind of an alternative is it going to be? Well, it's going to be central bank controlled, obviously. This means that the central bank is going to issue this new digital currency. And it's going to expand the monetary supply. No matter if they leave the old digital currency in place, I shouldn't say old digital currency, but the old dollar in place, like in the form of cash or whatever, and they add these new digital currency units to the monetary supply, it'll increase the dollar monetary supply. That's one thing it'll do. The next thing it's going to do is if it operates anything like all of the other digital currencies we've seen in existence up till now, they all basically have a wallet. And you keep your coins on your computer, so that's your tally of what you have. The central bank would issue those coins, just like the altcoins we have. Be like a version of some altcoin like Ripple. You know, I'm kind of comparing it to Ripple because they would have to create massive amounts of currency units of these new dollars. They'd be pegged to the U.S. dollar. It's going to be kind of like a hybrid cross between Ripple or XRP and Tether. You know, it's going to be a altcoin, and it's probably not going to be a very good one. But they're going to have to make these wallets. What does that do to the regular banking system? Because that means that you're going to be able to hold your own dollars in your own wallet on your own computer with the central bank issuing them. I can see them being fairly popular because people will say, well, if they're going to go to negative interest rate policy, wouldn't it be better to... But here's the thing. If they go to negative interest rate policy, you're probably going to see them take some of your money out of your wallet every month. Just automatically take it, you know. So we're moving into an interesting world, and payments on these new digital currency that they create would probably be done over your phone. I can imagine. In fact, the wallets would probably be for Android and or for Apple iPhones. You know, it'd probably be for iPhone or Android. You could probably download a wallet and it would be an official wallet probably that's I guess directly connected to the central bank. You know, so I guess it would be like you're able to be your own bank. It's going to make, ultimately, I can see a time coming in the future where banks are going to be superfluous, not needed anymore. So anyway, let's read a little bit more of this. It says the Fed has to evaluate if the technology would make payments safer and reduce operational costs and whether it presents a whole new risk to the financial system, Brainerd warned. Working with the private sector, U.S. officials would have to determine whether new guardrails need to be established, whether existing regulatory parameters need to be redrawn, and whether a CBDC, central bank digital currency, would deliver important benefits on the internet, she said. Brainerd had previously waved off any suggestion that the Fed might launch its own digital currency in May 2018. She told an audience at cryptocurrency conference in San Francisco that there was no compelling demonstrated need for a Fed-issued digital currency. Well, I guess they're all changing their mind. It says but the Fed is softening its stance toward digital currencies, and it may be in response to concerns surrounding privately administered digital currencies. In other words, the Fed wants to beat them to the punch. They're getting in there with coins like LIBRA, and they don't want to get ahead. They don't want to let industry, they don't want to let corporations get ahead of the government. It says in her speech Wednesday, Brainerd said that the surprise release of LIBRA last summer imparted urgency to the debate over what form money can take, and who or what can issue it, and how payments can be recorded and settled. They want to have control. They don't want to lose their control. So you see, they're going to be hurrying on this. I see this coming very soon in the very near future. A world where the central banks, just like they do now, they issue the currency, but they're going to be issuing it on a blockchain. This is going to make it easier for them to create money, first off. But, you know, they're going to have the same problem they have now. A problem that Bitcoin doesn't have because Bitcoin has a set limit of 21 million. They can't do that. Can you imagine if they only made 21 million of these new coins, whatever they're going to make, to compete with LIBRA? Just imagine if they only made 21 million of them. That wouldn't be enough for one county, besides the whole of the United States. No, of course, they're going to have to make unlimited supply, just like they do with the fiat currencies they have now. So I don't see this as any way competing with cryptocurrency. In fact, it's going to encourage adoption of cryptocurrency because the vast majority of the population out there who doesn't understand how to use cryptocurrencies and they're not used to using cryptocurrencies are suddenly going to go through a learning curve. They're going to have to learn how to use cryptocurrencies on their phone because the government's going to be starting to switch over into a digital currency. Listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye.